What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 8, Monday Night Football. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. Okay guys, in this video, I'm going to give you my top DFS picks for this Monday Night Football showdown between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Detroit Lions. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, let's take a look at this Monday Night Football showdown between the Las Vegas Raiders and the Detroit Lions. So at the quarterback position, I like Jimmy Garoppolo from the Las Vegas Raiders. He's playing the Lions, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they give up the 9th most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. So Jimmy Garoppolo averaging 14.2 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 3.6 rush attempts per game. He missed a game. He was banged up, but he's back. He's healthy. And he's projected at 14.8 fantasy points here tonight. I think he's got 20 plus fantasy point upside, especially because he's in a good matchup here. And the game script could favor Jimmy Garoppolo as well. And he's less expensive here by 1,000 DK salary. He's 9,400 DraftKings salary. So Vegas thinks there's going to be 46.5 points scored in this game. They have the Raiders trailing by 7.5. So because of the matchup and the potential game script here, Jimmy Garoppolo could find himself trailing by a touchdown or so. I think they're gonna keep the pressure on. He's in a good matchup with good wide receivers, so the ball is in Jimmy Garoppolo's hands tonight. So I like Jimmy Garoppolo here versus the Detroit Lions. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. So for the running back position, my favorite pick is Jahmyr Gibbs from the Detroit Lions, playing the Raiders, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, and they give up the 4th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Now, Jahmyr Gibbs, he's averaged 13.3 fantasy points per game on the season, but let's take a look at last game where he got the bulk of the workload. He scored 28 fantasy points off of 11 rush attempts and 10 pass targets. So super involved in the passing game. And he's projected at 16.8 fantasy points here tonight. He's 8,600 DraftKings salary. And this could be a favorable game script as Vegas thinks that the Lions are going to be ahead by 7.5 points. Could favor the run here at home in a good matchup. And he can always go out for pass targets if needed, so he can rack up fantasy points, especially on DraftKings. So I like Jahmyr Gibbs here versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, of course, I also like Josh Jacobs, although he's got a much tougher matchup. The Detroit Lions give up the 2nd fewest fantasy points versus opposing running backs. So I'd just be cautious there. Although Josh Jacobs still a good play. Now, if you're looking for a low salary running back, take a look at Craig Reynolds from the Detroit Lions. Now, he only got 4 touches last week, only averaging about 4 to 5 touches a game. But there were a couple games there where he got 7 rush attempts and a couple of pass targets. He's only 3,200 DraftKings salary, and the only reason that this play comes to mind or sticks out here is because of the matchup and the positive game script. So if you are going to go, if you don't have the salary to pay up at running back, then I think he is the best pay down option on the slate, because it gets pretty ugly after Jahmyr Gibbs and Josh Jacobs drops all the way down to 3,200 with Craig Reynolds. Then Zamir White at 1,600, who would be another potential guy who's going to get a handful of targets or touches here. That's about it. So let's take a look at the wide receiver position. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. So at the wide receiver position, if I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have a good game, then I'm going to look to either Davante Adams, who's a stud on the slate at $10,800 DraftKings salary, scoring an average of 17.1 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 10.1 pass targets per game, on the field for 89% of the snaps, projected at 16.6 fantasy points here tonight. He's $10,800 DraftKings salary. And with Vegas thinking that the Raiders could be behind by 7.5 points in this game, could favor the game script for a guy like Davante Adams, who scored 13, 5, and 9 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 12, 5, and 4 pass targets. But remember, some of those games without a healthy Jimmy Garoppolo. So I am looking for a big bounce back night, or a big night from Garoppolo and his wide receiver studs here. So I like Davante Adams here versus the Detroit Lions. Now, if I like Davante Adams, I also like Jacoby Myers from the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, the Detroit Lions have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. Middle-of-the-pack defending opposing wide receivers, so much better matchup than does the Detroit Lions wide receivers have. So Jacoby Myers is averaging 17.6 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 9.3 pass targets per game, on the field for 82% of the snaps, projected at 13.9 fantasy points here tonight. He's $8,200 DraftKings salary, so a significant savings coming down from Davante Adams. If you can't stack them both, you can only play one. If you can only fit Jacoby Myers, it's a pretty good combination. He's getting plenty of pass targets and has been super productive, even averaging more points than Davante Adams, although Davante Adams definitely has the bigger upside. But Jacoby Myers, plenty capable here. He scored 18, 17, and 21 fantasy points in the last 3 games, off of 13, 7, and 10 pass targets. So he's been the more consistent wide receiver. And if they are going to put their best defensive men on Davante Adams, then that does open up the opportunity for Jacoby Myers, and you get the salary savings. So I do love this play. Probably my favorite wide receiver on the slate, all things considered. So I like Jacoby Myers here versus the Detroit Lions. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Okay, moving on to the tight end position here. So a stud on the slate is Sam Laporta from the Detroit Lions, and he's averaging 13 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 7 pass targets per game, on the field for 80% of the snaps, projected at 11.7 fantasy points here tonight. He has $7,400 DraftKings salary, so it's a bit pricey for a tight end, especially when Jacoby Myers is not too much more there. But he did score 11, 8, and 20 fantasy points in the last 3 games off of 7, 11, and 4 pass targets, so plenty of volume. Has had a nice season. He's in a middle-of-the-road matchup. So I like Sam Laporta here versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, if you're looking to save some salary at the tight end position, It's another opportunity where if you want to play a pass catcher for the Raiders, but you don't have the salary for a wide receiver, you can look to one of these tight ends here, Michael Mayer and Austin Hooper. So, I mean, neither of these guys has done much this season, but they're getting, between 2 to 4 pass targets a game. And if they can score a touchdown, they will pay off their salary. So Michael Mayer is $3,800 DraftKings salary. Austin Hooper is $800 DraftKings salary. And I would say it would be a coin flip between the two in terms of who gets the targets, catches the ball. But they both do have a fantastic matchup here. The Detroit Lions giving up the second most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. So because of that good matchup, it may be worth playing one of these two tight ends and hope to get a touchdown. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.